Okay, hey everybody. This is Grace, and imagine this. I wrote it down. I'm going to read off of it. Now, imagine that I'm watching a video. You know, somebody made a video, and it's a woman and her husband, and she tells a little sob story, you know, about that she can't afford something. So I've seen a lot of those over the past 11 years. Every year, 'tis the season. This past season started in 2025, just didn't stop. Different ones, people complaining that they don't have enough money. And she, you know, some people, I'm gonna do more of a composite, fictionalize it a little bit, add them all together. But Hadley and Ian, okay. Let's name them Hadley and Ian. I've already done videos with those names, and so the same topic. But she says that, you know, she does the talking, most of the talking, and says that, you know, they just don't have the money, and they show the rundown shack they live in, and it is a rundown shack kind of thing, and it's in a place where it would be kind of scary to live. And maybe, I mean, any place can be scary to live, really. It doesn't matter. But although we do know that there are some exceptions. Anyway, so she doesn't, you know, I've seen over the years people that they don't have money for a lot of things. You know, quite often the one it's very scripted, it seems like, it's the one they don't have enough money to buy groceries. Sometimes it's even they don't have enough money for their rent, and their car broke down, and even things like they don't have enough money for their medications. Okay, medications, on and on. And so some of them say that's an excuse for them to go to food banks, so they, no, there's my squirrel. Squirrely, hey Squirrely. She comes out every time that I'm out here. I am serious, and stares at me. Hello, Squirrely. She also sometimes leaves me pecans and walnuts. We don't have pecans and walnut trees, so But anyway, that was actually a squirrel moment, an actual literal squirrel moment. I saw her shadow on the roof. It's a 2-story house, and she's way up there. Anyway, to get back to this, where was I? But you know, people, Hadley, you know, she's one of them, and you know, fictionalized. She's a fictional person, and you know, some of these people, including this fictional person, you know, they don't have all this money for all these things, but then they talk about, you know, that how important it is that, you know, there are people who believe in common sense. They said common sense is that everybody, you know, they use it, everybody, everyone, or nobody, you know, this kind of thing. Everybody knows that you have to have, these days, you have to have an emergency fund. You know, emergency funds. I'm doing air quotes here. And so everybody knows that to her. It's everybody. I don't think you know everybody, and no, everybody doesn't have emergency funds. Poor people don't. But they gives them an excuse, they think, to go to food pantries. They call them food banks. I didn't even know what it was called at first myself, but that to them gives them an excuse to go down there and make sure they get there early and find out what days this stuff comes in, so they can be there fast and get the best stuff. Even though they have 2 to 3 jobs that are being worked for their house, you know, maybe one of them will have a job or 2. The other one has a job and does also on top of it delivery. They have money, but they have to have, everybody knows you must have, according to them, emergency funds. Okay. I'm looking at my notes again. Okay, have you heard of these things that are called, I think they have different names for them, but it's envelopes. When I checked them out, it said envelopes saving budget or something. Different names for it, really. And they can cost up to, they're a plastic thing, and I remember people 10 years ago or so, they used to put They used to send people through the postal mail. From people would make videos like Dollar Tree videos and such, and they would get these little plastic pages that have little pockets, and they'd make cute little stuff and stuff them in there, each little pocket, and they'd send it to a friend, that somebody online that somebody also makes videos, and they show them. Okay, well now these days, Squirrely is still staring at me. She came back and staring at me. She's like, I'm watching you now. She is so cute. But anyway, but these, nowadays what they do is the people, there she goes running across. I think there's 2 of them, really. But anyway, but Hadley, she stuffs, a lot of people do this these days. I didn't know it until this past year, not even a year, that they use those things to stuff money, dollar bills in, and however how much they're wanting to save. Sometimes it's like a game. Sometimes they use a die and play a game of how many dollars they have to put in there. Some of it is like, if you want to save $1,000, you have to put this many in each pocket, and each day, like, it could be $1 or $2, or however much, if you're wanting to save 100 or whatever. And they have challenges and stuff like that. People make video challenges and all. I did not know, like I said, until a few months ago, really, that people were doing this. And that's for their for some of them, it's their emergency fund. So emergency, money for emergencies. Okay. It's money for emergencies. We used to just call them saving account or bank account. You just put money in there. You didn't have to do all that. But some of these things, I looked them up. One of the highest I saw was a special made kind of thing. It was $73 and some change, or maybe say 74, 75. Wow, just for one of those. But some of them were just little bitty things. Probably, I don't know, you might be able to buy those at Walmart. $2.98. That sounds like a Walmart price. There's the 8 at the end, from what I recall. But anyway, but some of them, you look it up, there goes somebody flying down the road. This is a neighborhood. It has kids. Slow it down. I just did a video about this kind of thing. Flying through here. This is a neighborhood with kids, grandkids, and all that, and they're flying down it. It's a very short road. I'm surprised they actually made the curve. Really, without flipping. Oh, idiots. Real life happens right in the middle of a video. But anyway, these people, to get back to it, emergency funds. They talk about being poor. I've never known in my whole life, 62 years, of people who are truly poor, or the ones who are truly needy, and whatever is the situation that caused it right now. It could just be they're down on their luck, man. It could be that they have kids, little kids that are going hungry and going to bed at night with not enough food in them. So they're the ones that need to go. They're the family, the parents have to work, and then they can't get to the food banks on time. And when they do, these greedy people have already taken all the good stuff, the stuff that's nutritious for their children, or for the elderly, or for the disabled, or for people just down on their luck. No life is perfect. No person is perfect. But these greedy people take from the needy people, because they don't have enough money for their... Wait a minute, they have emergency funds. I've never known poor people to have emergency funds. The emergency would be that right now they don't have food money for groceries. But these people, they don't see it this way. But they kind of make their videos and complain that they don't have money for groceries, so people will send them money so they can stuff them in their little budget books. Little plastic envelopes, and they spend $50 on them. You see what I'm saying? But I don't know about all of you. I see that when I see something like that, I'm so disgusted by it. I am truly disgusted by the people who, steal from the needy. That's the way I see it. I'm not changing my attitude about it. And then what some of them brag about is unbelievable. They brag. They show their funds, how much money they have stuffed in those envelopes. And not even envelopes. I wouldn't call them, I don't know why. Well, some of them are envelopes. Some of them are not. They're plastic little pages, like I said, and you stuff each little plastic thing. They have probably, I'd say maybe 9 little cubbies, or maybe 8, something like that. I don't know what you call it. You just stick the dollars inside that, and they'll brag that they have over $1,000 in this one, and who knows how much in the other ones, but they don't have enough money for groceries. Now, what are those emergency funds for again? Well, they don't have enough money to buy their medications. If they're going to want to say that it's for medical emergency, well, not having your money for your medications that are needed, yeah, that is a huge, it wouldn't be for me, huge emergency. I didn't have my medications, like blood pressure medication. Yeah, I don't care to die because I want to show people my budget book. I am just, I'm telling you. Oh, and apparently that's good enough to get. It's good enough to make people watch them, and that's good enough to promote their videos. Me, I just recently found out my channels have never been shadow banned because I don't do anything wrong, and that's what shadow ban is. And there's a way to check it, and I didn't really need to check it. But mine aren't shadow banned. Instead it's what's called dead channel, and it's because whatever it is saturated. I do a lot of videos on different topics, but I mean, some of them I know are not. Some of my channels I do this spin-off stuff. They're not shadow banned, but it's not exactly what I want to do anymore. So, and some of them, they get to around, one of them, I think the main one was around 200,000 views. Yeah, 200,000 views. So, I have more than one channel, spin-offs. I had to tell stories, a series. And that's how I have some of the channels. Some of them, I go back 11 years. And back then, I started a channel, but then I wanted to show somebody else how to make a channel, so I did one under my channel and all this stuff. So, yeah, some of them I didn't even know I had the channel from even before then, and then I ran across had written it on an index card, and I was like, oh, wow, I have another old channel. So, before I was making videos. Yeah. Stuff like that. It's gone back to probably not long after YouTube first started, because I had my first computer in 1982, and I was one of those there before. In fact, today I was listening again. It popped up again, recommended. The cutest thing, I was there for it whenever Hamster Dance came out. It was so cute. It was so cute back then. I was there before then even. So, anyway, I'm wrapping this up. Talk to you on another video. Bye.